And now, Joe's counting on you.
Man, this is the real deal. You can't get this at the mall. This is the real Harvest Festival.
This is the real stuff.
Come to the Harvest Festival!
The Harvest Festival Original Art and Craft Show this Friday through Sunday at the Phoenix Convention Center.
Connecting Arizona, live from the 12 News studios at 200 East Van Buren. This is 12 News at noon.
Just ahead on 12 News at noon, police asking for the public's help as the search continues for a suspect they believe is involved in a number of violent crimes. The final sprint is on with the election day only 2 weeks away. This after the presidential candidates go after each other in the third and final debate. Apple's next big thing is something a little smaller. The company introduces the mini iPad, and we have all the details. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for watching 12 News at noon. I'm Emma Jade. Breaking news, a missing teenager in the Southeast Valley, and the Pinal County Sheriff's Office thinks it may be a kidnapping. Now take a good look. These are pictures of 15-year-old Samantha White. According to her aunt, Samantha left for school this morning. Then shortly after, the aunt discovered the girl's school books and backpacks scattered on the sidewalk near their house. There was also a note indicating she was possibly kidnapped. Now, we're told Samantha didn't make it to school today. Sky 12 was over the search scene in the last hour, this taking place in Santan Valley. Now, if you're familiar with the area, it is a neighborhood near Gary Road and Empire Boulevard where the girl went missing from. Her description is as follows. Samantha White, she's 4 feet 11 inches. She weighs about 98 pounds, has blonde hair, blue eyes. If anyone knows her whereabouts, please call the Pinal County Sheriff's Office at 520-866-5111. New at noon, reports of a car into a building in Mesa. The Sky 12 pictures showed it, a Cadillac on top of parking blocks, possibly coming to a rest against one of those pillars outside of the building. Now, this is on Lindsay Road, just south of McKellips in Mesa. It's an area with a lot of commercial buildings. They have restaurants, banks, stores, and a prep academy that's just right near close. Not sure yet exactly what building this is, but we are working on getting more details. Sky 12 images showed a woman on a stretcher loaded into an ambulance. It's unclear what injuries she may have suffered. Police who arrested 2 men this morning in Phoenix are investigating the possibility that they are involved in a 2-man robbery ploy. It all started just after 4:30 when a man and a woman at a gas station on the corner of 32nd Street in Thomas asked a guy for cash and a ride. Well, he took them to a nearby apartment where they were all robbed at gunpoint. The robbers stole 2 cell phones, a purse, and a briefcase. Now, the suspect was found and arrested along with the man who asked for the ride. Now, again, police think the 2 men may be involved in some sort of robbery ploy to lure in victims. Meantime, Phoenix police are turning to the public for information about a man they believe is behind several violent crimes. We first told you about Angel Padilla last week. Well, he is accused of kidnapping his ex, then shooting at cops. Now, police say he is the suspect in 2 weekend home invasions, and they also think others may be helping him hide, which is a felony. The victims in the home invasion say Padilla had a handgun and threatened them.
I was really scared. I thought he was gonna shoot me because, like, just by seeing a gun, my body was shaking.
We're not showing you the victim's face because she's too afraid to show it on camera. She's a high school student who says she's had trouble being at home ever since the home invasion. Now, Padilla ended up stealing her mom's truck, which police have found, but there's still no sign of him. Officers are looking for any tips or leads, hoping to get to Padilla before he hurts someone. So if you have seen him or have any information about where he is, you can call police right away, and there is a reward. Well, Tucson police are looking for the mother of a newborn girl who they found inside a duffel bag in an apartment. Someone left the bag on a doorstep. They rang the doorbell and then walked away. Firefighters took the baby girl to the hospital. They believe she's no more than a few days old and is doing okay. Police want to make sure her mother is all right, too. So the baby girl is now in CPS care. The presidential candidates begin the final stretch of this election cycle. The president and Mitt Romney are out campaigning again after their final debate. Obama is in Florida, while Romney's headed west to Nevada and then to Colorado. Well, as for last night, the two battled trying to reach the final undecided voters. CNN's Sandra Endo has more.
It was a foreign policy showdown billed as the battle in Boca. The third presidential debate may not have been as heated as the previous meeting, but there was plenty to spar over.
Governor, the problem is that on a whole range of issues, whether it's the Middle East, whether it's Afghanistan, whether it's Iraq, whether it's now Iran, you've been all over the map.
I have clear eyes on this. I'm not going to wear rose-colored glasses when it comes to Russia or Mr. Putin, and I'm certainly not going to say to him, I'll give him more flexibility after the election.
Contentious issues included Libya, Afghanistan, and Syria.
What we can't do is to simply suggest that, as Governor Romney at times has suggested, that giving heavy weapons, for example, to the Syrian opposition is a simple proposition.
We should be playing the leadership role there, not on the ground with military.
Despite the foreign focus, the candidates found ways to bring the conversation around to the #1 domestic issue, the economy.
Unfortunately, the economy is not stronger. When the president of Iraq, excuse me, of Iran, Ahmadinejad, says that our debt makes us not a great country, that's a frightening thing.
If we had taken your advice, Governor Romney, about our auto industry, we'd be buying cars from China instead of selling cars to China.
Now the candidates take their talking points back to the campaign trail. The next and final showdown comes November 6th, when voters head to the polls. The candidates are targeting key battleground states, making a push to shore up support before Election Day. Reporting from Boca Raton, Florida, I'm Sandra Endo.
All right, thanks, Sandra. Well, you could see an increase in the price of your bus fare sometime soon. That's because the Regional Public Transportation Authority is proposing a fare hike of 25 cents for the cost of a single ride. So if Valley Metro adopts it, you'll pay $2 to ride instead of the $1.75. That'll be starting in March. The last fare increase was back in 2009, but Valley Metro wants to hear what you think. So they've scheduled a few public meetings for you. There's one tonight at the Chandler City offices and then another at the Cesar Chavez Library in Laveen. Both are happening at 7:30. Then there's a few more planned for next week. So to see the full schedule online, head to valleymetro.org. And since your bus fare could soon be going up, some might consider driving instead, since gas prices are actually going down. AAA says the prices at the pump could go way down before the holidays, possibly even another 30 cents by Thanksgiving. Right now, the average price for a gallon of gas in Arizona, $3.69, which is good, but that's actually higher than the U.S. average, which today is $3.65. But you know what, Mary? Ditch the car, get out and walk, ride your bike. It is gorgeous out there. 80s the entire week.
A nice stretch of 80s.
Love it.
So definitely a nice day to just take the bike.
Yes, enjoy being outdoors.
Yeah,
might as well.
exactly. Because you know those gas prices, they're going to go back up. Right?
They always do.
It's like gravity. Goes up, goes down.
There you go.
The good news is our temperatures really won't be flip-flopping all that much this week. Currently, we're sitting in the 70s, but we are starting to see those 80s popping up, especially across the East Valley. Ahwatukee to 82 currently, 79 in Phoenix, 78 Glendale, and we're seeing upper 70s from Peoria, Anthem, and Fountain Hills. So nice day. I mean, we're seeing lots of blue sky out there. A couple of partly cloudy skies across the Australia Mountains, but Camelback looking nice and clear. And we are expecting to stay seasonable today, but we'll talk about the rest of the work week ahead in our 7-day forecast. Emma?
The 70s right now, perfect for lunch outside. All right, well, soon the saga about a Frank Lloyd Wright house could be over. The house at the center of a fight is back on the market. For months, there's been a battle about whether the new owners can tear the house down. Many argue it is a historic landmark and should not be allowed to be demolished. The agent listing the property says if anyone buys the house, it will be to preserve it.
I think it's going to be a buyer that is going to probably donate it. I think that they're doing it for the love of the house. I think that it's a piece of art. I think that they're going to buy it. They're going to renovate it.
The realtor says he won't even show the house to anyone unless they can prove they have the money. The group that wants to preserve the house hopes someone buys it soon. Well, most expect a classic in the year's Fall Classic. The World Series is set. It will be the San Francisco Giants versus the Detroit Tigers. Last night in the pouring rain, the Giants clinched a trip to their second World Series in 3 years after a pretty incredible series comeback. They were down 3-1 against the Cardinals, but came back, won the next 3 straight, including a 9-0 rout on Monday. Giants have home field advantage in the World Series because the NL won July's All-Star game. Game 1 is tomorrow night. Coming up on 12 News at noon, stocks take a big hit. Can energy drinks give you a deadly buzz? Plus, thinner than a pencil. We are giving you the scoop on the new iPad mini from Apple. That's going to be straight ahead.
A third grader who falls behind in reading can spend the rest of her life playing catch-up. A high school graduate who is unprepared limits his or her opportunities. Prepare your child for success every step of the way. Visit expectmorearizona.org.
Log on to the 12 News Facebook page. Ask questions or alert us of breaking news. Post photos on our wall or talk one-on-one with our news team. 12 News on Facebook. Join the conversation.
Have you actually read Proposition 204? It may take a while because Prop 204 is 15 pages long, single-spaced. 15 pages to raise your taxes. But the bottom line is, Prop 204 permanently raises taxes, $1 billion a year, not to support students, but to fund bigger bureaucracy. And Prop 204 would give Arizona the second highest sales taxes in the country. Check the facts. Join me and vote no on Prop 204.
They risked their lives for us, gave up their jobs for us. Their families sacrificed for us. We have a moral obligation to take care of our men and women in uniform when they return home. That's why, as a state senator, I worked across party lines to make it easier for returning veterans to go to college or get technical training, and their spouses to get business licenses and assistance in getting a job. I'm Kirsten Sinema. I sponsored this ad to change Washington and get things done.
When it comes to Medicare Advantage, price is important to me. But I also want someone who's in my corner. Someone who understands my needs. Because I'm more than a Medicare beneficiary. I'm a yoga instructor.
At HealthNet, we give you the flexibility to choose affordable Medicare Advantage coverage with monthly plan premiums starting as low as $0. We have low doctor copayments, low hospital copayments, low prescription drug copayments, and even gym memberships with some plans.
Finding the right plan for the right price gives me peace of mind.
We at HealthNet are ready and willing to help you find the Medicare Advantage plan that works for you. Call and set up an appointment today and learn how our zero monthly plan premiums, zero deductibles, and zero preventive care copays may be an option for you. Also, ask us about our wide network of doctors and options like dental and vision coverage. Call now. When you meet with us, we'll explain everything and give you a free gift. But hurry, enrollment ends early this year on December 7th. Call 1-800-709-2982 today.
What do Ann Kirkpatrick and Kirsten Sinema have in common? Both support higher taxes and spending. Kirkpatrick voted for Nancy Pelosi's liberal agenda nearly 90% of the time. While Sinema is so far left, she supported Ralph Nader for president. And while Kirkpatrick voted to take $700 billion from Medicare, Sinema thought Obama's law didn't go far enough. Kirkpatrick and Sinema, wrong on health care, too extreme for Arizona. 60 Plus Association is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Here's what's coming up in primetime tonight on 12 News. Followed by the Valley's #1 news at 10 o'clock with Lynn Cooney, Mark Curtis, Caribe Devine, and Kevin Hunt. Tonight at 10, watch and see how 12 News is connecting Arizona.
Our top stories this noon. Today is shaping up to be one of the worst days of the year on Wall Street. The major indexes have fallen to their lowest point since early September after some big name companies reported weak quarterly earnings. So you are taking a live look right now at the big board. We are down about 206 right now, and it has been falling ever since pretty steadily as well. So not the best day for folks out there on Wall Street. An annual tradition from over the weekend, scuba divers carved pumpkins underwater. This year's pumpkin carving contest in the Florida Keys had a bit of a political edge, don't we all? 42 divers participated in or watched this year's contest, and the likeness of President Obama and Governor Romney gave it the feel of a presidential debate. One diver created the likeness of Snoopy and carved the word vote into the center. for Halloween and for the debate. There you go. The weeks of speculation are finally over. A couple of hours ago, Apple unveiled 2 new iPad models. One, a new full-sized version. It's just an update to the 3rd generation device that went on sale in March. The other, the highly anticipated iPad mini, which is about half the size of its big brother. Mark Barger has more.
We got something great to announce today.
Steve Jobs always insisted there was no need to downsize the iPad. And that wildly popular creation still commands about 2/3 of the tablet market.
We're the reinventors of normal.
But with competitors getting sales traction,
it's just the right size
from smaller tablets in the past year, Apple's expected to respond later today with the iPad mini.
And it makes total sense. It's just like they did with the iPod. They need to extend their lines to keep milking the market.
The iPad mini is expected to have a 7 to 8 inch screen versus the 9.7 inch screen of the original. Less certain is what features the new version will offer and what it'll cost. Many observers expect a base price around $249, which would be a bit higher than rival devices.
I imagine that the new iPads might start at a very low end, and maybe once you start configuring them would start rising up to the price of what the 3rd gen iPad is.
In fact, CNET.com senior editor Scott Stein says the mini could cannibalize some sales of the larger iPad, but he sees Apple's iPod Touch being more at risk.
It's a tweener device. It probably can still exist out there for those who don't have an iPhone. But, you know, I think there will be people who will start picking that iPad mini over the Touch.
Stein expects schools and businesses to get a big push for the iPad mini, even as Microsoft's new offering, Surface, also jumps into the tablet fray later this week. Mark Barger, NBC News.
All right, well, Mary, according to Wired.com, they're going to put everything on sale Friday the 26th. That's the same day that Windows 8 launches. Ooh. So as you can see, we got competition already. And I love how I'm reading this off my iPad. Yeah. I got the iPad right here, the iPhone. It's just, we're so tapped in. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And these announcements are becoming even more ridiculous. Trying to keep it so mysterious and exciting.
To create the buzz.
iPad mini, though, I think I'm into it.
I was in line for the iPhone 5.
Were you really?
Did
you get one at least?
I sure did. I was one of the 5 billion or whatever record-breaking number.
That was you? I knew it.
I helped, yes.
It's a perfect day to wait in line, though. Gorgeous weather out there.
It is, certainly. And we are going to continue this nice stretch of weather for the rest of the work week. Now, we have a couple storm systems that will continue to stay off to our north. Doesn't look like it's going to really be affecting much of Arizona, although we still expect a couple more inches of snow through the Cascades for the rest of this afternoon. If anything, it's just going to create a breeze or here or two and bring in a couple few high clouds. But other than that, we're going to be looking at some really, really nice fall weather, and we're really starting to see a lot of blue skies currently. Temperatures at Sky Harbor right at 79 degrees, so we've warmed up pretty quickly this afternoon, and we're looking at a dew point of 53. Humidity has dropped to about 40%, and winds are calm, and we expect to see some just calm conditions throughout the afternoon and into tomorrow. So here's a look at some valley temperatures right now. Glendale, you're sitting at 78. On this lunchtime, 79 Phoenix, 77 Scottsdale, and Tempe currently reading at 78, with Chandler coming in at 79, with a couple of 80s as you head farther south and west. So a nice stretch of 80s expected today, tomorrow, for the rest of the week. It's going to get a little warmer, though, as you head towards the weekend. We're talking about near 90s, but it doesn't look like we'll be breaking 90 degrees just yet. Valley webcam showing lots of nice weather, especially the skies are blue and just a couple of high clouds. Forecast, once again, 86 is right where we should be. Record high for the state at 100, set back in 2003. So for the rest of this afternoon, you'll see those temperatures climb into the 80s. Should top out right near 86 degrees with mostly sunshine. Highs across the state, 82 Casa Grande, 71 Sedona, 72 Payson, 75 Winslow, and a cool 58 for you in the high country. Now, as we head towards your 7-day forecast, you'll notice getting a little cooler as you head towards midweek. You'll notice temperatures dropping a couple degrees and it trimmed to 84 tomorrow. Still sunny and bright. 82 by Thursday, and then look at that. We'll start to warm it back up again Friday into Saturday. But other than that, still very nice, pleasant weather for the weekend ahead. Emma?
Oh, I love it. Week full of 80s. Well, we're in the middle of our fall project, 30 days and 30 ways to save Arizona's children. One simple way you can make a difference is to give to the Breakfast First cereal drive, because no child should start the day hungry. The next time you go grocery shopping, pick up an extra box of cereal if you can and drop it off at any Arizona Safeway store. Thank you so much for your generosity in helping other kids not go hungry. Well, coming up after the break on 12 News at noon, the feds are investigating reports of 5 deaths that may be associated with Monster Beverage Corporation's energy drink. Well, this, as a mom, is suing over the death of her daughter. The story coming up.
Have you actually read Proposition 204? It may take a while because Prop 204 is 15 pages long, single-spaced. 15 pages to raise your taxes. But the bottom line is, Prop 204 permanently raises taxes, $1 billion a year, not to support students, but to fund bigger bureaucracy. And Prop 204 would give Arizona the second highest sales taxes in the country. Check the facts. Join me and vote no on Prop 204.
What would Jeff Flake cost you?
If you're in the military, he could cost you your home. Jeff Flake voted against protecting returning vets from foreclosures.
If you're a woman, Flake opposed making insurance companies cover minimum hospital stays for breast cancer.
And if you're a senior, Flake supports a radical budget that would raise Medicare costs $6,400 per year.
Jeff Flake costs all of us.
The Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Jonathan Payton, and I approve this message.
Ann Kirkpatrick.
I completely support what the president did with the Affordable Care Act.
We know Kirkpatrick voted for Obamacare, cutting Medicare by $716 billion, empowering 15 unelected bureaucrats to deny seniors care, while Kirkpatrick showered her staff and campaign aides with more than $100,000 in taxpayer-funded bonuses. Ann Kirkpatrick.
I'm not going to second-guess the president.
Yeah. We know.
Joe and I have been married for 55 years. I have always been proud of my husband, especially now. I see Joe's commitment to doing the job he was elected to do. He loves me, he loves our family, and he